Let's cook this wonderful ogbono soup together in our ordinary kitchen. Okay, these are my ingredients: the ogbono, the bitter leaf, salt, and Maggi crayfish pepper, meat stock, and onion. This my protein is I'm using snail, and I'm using dried meat from Nigeria. Dried, very very dry goat meat from Nigeria. That's what I'm using. And stockfish. And before now, I have used Maggi and salt to parboil it. Then I separated the water from the meat. Now I'm putting back the snail, stockfish, and the goat meat. I'm putting everything back into my pot. And after putting it into my pot, I've poured in the water, that is the stock, the meat stock. I've poured it into my pot. This is ogbono soup I'm making, so it requires a lot of onion. I've put some onion. I've really put some onion here into the pot. Then I add little water. After adding little water, I now put the next ingredient, which is going to be my ogbono. So I cover my pot, then I go to my ogbono. I pour oil, palm oil, into my ogbono. I pour oil because I want to mix it first before taking it to the pot. I feel like it makes the soup really dry if I do it like this. But anyway, when you see the result of our ogbono soup, then you can see. But man, it was tasting so good. So I put in enough oil and I started turning it. But you know, ogbono is hard. At least this one is hard, so it didn't really dissolve. But at least the oil really soaked it all up. I kept turning it and trying to, like, get the ones that I could get to dissolve. I noticed I needed some more oil. I put in more oil. I turned it and I saw it was good. I poured it into my meat stock that I had already put onion. I poured it in. So now you know what's in the pot is the meat, the stock, the onion, and now the ogbono with oil. I stirred everything together. I stirred it together, like I just kept turning the whole thing. I was working the soup into the snails and everything. So this is me putting some more water into the ogbono because I saw it was really thick. So I put some more water in the ogbono. So this is the catfish I want to use, but I don't want it broken. Why? Because my kids are going to be tasting the soup, and I also wanted us to eat the fish whole. So I just washed the fish and kept it aside. I now opened my pot. I put some crayfish. I shared it into half, so I just put half of the crayfish here, and I kept the other half for later. Yes, for later. So after putting my crayfish, I stirred it very well. Stirred it, made sure that the whole crayfish, got turned properly. Then I covered my pot. When I opened it again, my oven was already boiling, and I put in my cubes. My seasoning cube was Maggi. It was no, and I put in some salt. Be careful with the salt when you're cooking ogbono. And you know that my meat stock was already having some salt and some Maggi. So I felt I needed a little more Maggi. I put in a little more Maggi, turned it completely, stirred it very well, because it's soup that we're cooking now. Then I was ready to put in the next ingredient, which was the pepper, both the fresh and the dry pepper. I put it at the same time. So I put my pepper, put my Cameroon pepper, and my fresh red pepper, my red Nigerian pepper. I put it in and I stirred it very well. Yeah. And by now I was already perceiving the aroma. I put in some more pepper. I was already perceiving the good aroma from the soup. And I just put in some more pepper, rinsed the plate, and then stirred it in. I stirred it in. I put in some more black pepper because I felt that it needed, ogbono, you have to be careful. You have to put pepper so that you don't feel like throwing up when you're eating it. So this is my bitter leaf, already properly washed. So I put in my bitter leaf, put in everything. Then I stirred it together. Ogbono needs some degree of bitterness from the bitter leaf. That's what I feel. That's why I always love bitter leaf. Enough bitter leaf in the ogbono so that you don't feel like throwing up. There's enough pepper and enough bitter leaf. So that is it. I put in the remaining of my crayfish. That crayfish, I put in the remaining. I stirred it. Look at how our soup is looking. I put in the fish and I now put soup. I used soup to cover it, so that at least you can get the whole, you can suck in the soup. I covered it, then I opened and stirred, and I saw that the soup was ready. Like my soup was ready. The only thing remaining was just to make the swallow, and this is the swallow, this is the soup, and man, it was so delicious. Please remember to like and follow this Facebook page and our YouTube channel.